Basically, I started doing this because there were so many parents coming to anime conventions because their kids wanted to go to the conventions, and the parents had no idea what this was about. Things have changed. We now have parents going to anime conventions. Their kids want to go, but their parents are the ones that turn them on to anime. So we've got like this multi-generational thing. The ultimate I ever saw was a baby in costume, a toddler in costume, both of the parents in the costume, and the grandma with a walker in costume. That was actually in Baltimore, but that was an impressive thing. I suspect the parents were the original fans, and it spread out up and down the generational ladder from there, but it was quite a fun thing. How many of you are parents with kids who are into anime? Nobody? How many of you have parents that you want to get interested in anime? Yeah. The thing is that it's not unusual for parents to go, oh yeah, the kid likes cartoons. Oh yeah, they're Japanese, they're different. And they kind of ended it down. Face it, animation in America is mostly juvenile. It's not really of a very diverse caliber. It has a very narrow range of what is allowed. So you get Roadrunner. Great fun stuff, lots of slapstick. In fact, Cartoon Art Museum is currently selling Acme anvils. They have a Chuck Jones show. So they have the Acme product catalog, so all the different things the guys use. But anyway, you get that. That's a juvenile show that adults enjoy. You have sitcoms, which are aimed at adult audiences. Think King of the Hill, Simpsons, The Flintstones. It's all sitcoms aimed at adults, but kids watch them too. It's still got a certain juvenile element to it. You think of stuff that's made for adults, Wizards, Fritz the Cat, and so forth. Those are still pretty juvenile. You've got sex and drugs, which is why they're adult things, but they're still pretty juvenile. You don't have anything like Ghost in the Shell. You don't have anything like Whisper of the Heart, which is actually aimed at children, but adults can really appreciate. It's very sophisticated. And it's a sad lacking in many ways in American animation. It's improving. People are getting more leeway in the American industry, but it still hasn't broken that animation is not really serious viewpoint that we have in our culture. There are some great people working in the industry today, and they're pulling in some interesting things. Some of them, like Tim Eldred, who writes scripts for a lot of the popular shows. He's written scripts for Teen Titans and several other things, come out of anime fandom. But on the whole, it's still kind of restricted here. Pixar's been pushing the barriers, a few other studios have been pushing the barriers, but it's hard to get the producers to agree to give you the money for that kind of thing. Someday it'll change. There's also the factor in America that if you make an animated movie feature for the theaters, you want to draw kids to it, because if the kid's going to see it, at least one of the parents is going. So you're selling at least 2 tickets. And that's one of the major reasons, for financial reasons. Television could be a different thing, but we'll see what happens in the next decade or so. It seems to be going backwards in many ways. But anyway, this is more about anime, less about American animation. Anime has become quite popular with a lot of people, but why do we like it? Anybody care to give me their opinion why they like anime compared to American cartoons?
I like it because you see character development. It's not some flat, same old stuff all the time. It's from series to series. You watch characters grow.
Yeah, so the characters change, they go through emotional situations and stuff. That's a crucial thing in my opinion. Japanese literature, from ancient poetry to the modern day, the latest novels, has, and of course beyond that, live action movies, animation, manga, there's one thing that you find throughout Japanese literary tradition. Feelings, emotions, they play a major role in the stories. Many of our stories really don't have that many feelings in it. It's like people are going through emotions, they're going through behaviors, but there's not really an emotional impact. And it's kind of emotionally flat. And I think that's one of the reasons anime appeals to Americans, particularly adolescents.